Hi there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the roof of a building construction project. Before we start talking about numbers, let's start with something basic but powerful. A roof is the top covering of a building construction project. It protects everything and everyone beneath it. It shields us from the rain, the scorching sun, the wind, and even thieves. But more than just shelter, a good roof adds beauty, strength, and value to your entire home. In Nigeria, especially today, roofing is not just a necessity. It is a serious investment. With the rising cost of material, labor, and transportation, roofing a 223 square meters 5-bedroom duplex can now cost more than buying a car. But don't worry, in this video, I will break down the real cost of roofing a 223 square meters 5-bedroom duplex in Nigeria as of August 2025. I will also show you how to avoid overpaying, how to choose the right materials, and what most people get wrong that ends up costing them millions. And of course, all of us know that no matter the kind of building you are building, whether a bungalow or a duplex, the roof is a very, very necessary component. Let's get into it. And trust me, you will want to stay to the end. So, to demonstrate this, in this video, we are going to use one of our live projects, which we have already mentioned, measures approximately 223 square meters. To, of course, calculate what the roofing sheet and all the roofing costs could be. And of course, we are going to tell you the current prices of the roofing sheets, and of course mention the types, which will also be dependent on the choice you make by the end of the day. Then the material list of what you will need, of course an approximate cost of the labor, and we'll also tell you what we spent in doing this particular one. Then the mistakes to avoid, and of course a bonus tip on how you could save when you are roofing your own project. So, in the construction process, once we get to the final level, just before the roof, preparations and arrangements for the roof begins. For instance, in this project now is at the leveling level, where immediately after this leveling, the next thing that comes off are the roof components. And of course, this implies thinking hard on different things, particularly what kind of roof. And of course, these things are better done during the drawing process, because the best time to make changes in a building construction project is on the drawing table. Any other change you make outside the drawing table, of course, will cost you money that you could have saved. So first of all, when you're doing a construction project, the best thing to do is to make all your changes and be happy with your drawing before you move to site. Because when some of these things change a lot of things. For instance, if you initially wanted to go for a stone-coated roof tile, and after the woodwork, you now decide you're not going for a stone coated roof tile anymore and will go for a long span, you would have wasted a lot of money, because the kind of spacing of the wood, the rafters, is not the same for both. So that calls for knowing exactly what you want before you get to that stage. It is important here to state that there are many kinds of roof in the market, and whichever choice you make affects the total cost of your roofing. For instance, we have the aluminium roofs, which will include the long span, which is popularly known. Then we have the metro cupola, and of course the metro tiles, the one that comes like the normal stone tiles, but this one normally is aluminium. So whichever choice you make informs the wood you are going to, the quantity of use you're going to, the wood you're going to use for your building construction project. So it is important to agree with your engineer on this before you get to that stage. Other choices you may consider is the stone-coated roof tiles. Now, the stone-coated roof tiles also comes in various shapes, and of course, all of them are in the same size. But now the difference is the country they come from, and of course, the company that makes them. Of course, this also determines the cost of each square meter of these stone tiles, as well as its durability. Now, let's look at the prices based on this. The price of roofing sheets in Nigeria varies based on type, the gauge, and the design. But there's a general overview which one could use as a budgeting tip. Aluminum roofing sheets is better, or it's more advised to go for at least a 0.45 gauge. Then the long span design, the prices will be around, let's say, 5,700 or so. Then the 0.5 millimeters gauge for long span will be about 6,700, and the 0.55 millimeters is about 7,550. Then when you now talk about the step tiles, then the prices will range between 6,600 to 8,200 or even 9,000, depending on the make and the quality, as well as the durability of what you are getting. Now, for this project, what we used is the stone-coated roof tiles, New Zealand product. And the resultant quantity of materials were as follows. The 2x3x12 were 600 pieces. The 2x4x18 were 400. Then the 2x4x12 were 200. Then the 2x2x12 was 450.
Then the 2 by 6 by 18 were 20. Then the 3 inches nails used were 2 bags, while the 4 inches nails used here was 1 bag. And of course, there were provision for the anti-termite treatment. These are all that were used as far as the wood was concerned. And of course, we also mentioned that we're going to give you an idea of the cost. So this kind of roof will cost you between 380,000 naira to 450,000 naira for the roof woodwork alone. For the roofing sheet, we already established that what we used is the stone-coated roof tiles, the New Zealand product. And the number of sheets we used here is 485 square meters. And of course, this is sold at around 7,500 per square meter. Now, of course, there was also provision for the transportation, which in this case took us about 200,000 naira to take it to the site. And there were some accessories, which includes the nails, the binding wire, the roofing membranes, the flashing. And in this case, this cost us about 220,000 naira. There was also provision for the reach cap and other small accessories, which was about 550,000 naira. Now, for the labor to install the roofing sheets, some will charge you per square meter, while others will charge as a bulk pack. For this particular project, we charged it as a bulk pack, which took about 250,000 naira to install all the roofing sheets. In all, the total cost of the material used and of course transportation to finish this wood was 6,871,500 naira for the materials used for this roofing. That is both the wood and the roofing sheet. While the total cost of labor and supervision for this particular roofing was 950,000 naira. That brought it the total cost for both material and labor for this roof to 7,821,500 naira. Now, the next thing we need to talk about now is the tips on how you could avoid mistakes in your building construction project. Number 1 is buying your roofing sheet before completing woodwork. Yes, sometimes you may be in a haste, you just want to get this thing over with and you want to buy your material immediately. Please do not do that, because you will certainly make mistakes. Because the measurement of roofing sheets is you can only get an accurate measurement after the woodwork is completed. Otherwise, whatever you are going to get is more like a guesswork, which you can still get from your drawing. But before you can get the accurate measurement is after the woodwork is done. That is when you can get a perfect measurement that is near accurate. 2, please do not underpay the people doing your work. If you underpay them, they will grudgingly do the work and cause you more wahala in the future. Maybe the person may just leave one nail hole and go. And before you know it, from there, water will be seeping in and destroy your POP and every other thing in the building. On another note, always get 2 or 3 quotes for your building construction project. It will help you to compare prices. Then buy wood directly from where they are sawing it or from a timber market. Of course, negotiate your transport and offloading costs ahead of time before they get to the site. That will help you save money. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you in our next one as we continue to break down and make building construction easier for you.